Hi, this is Peter with CalcBook, and today we're going to be talking about what's new in CalcBook version 2. We recently released several new features in CalcBook version 2, but today we're going to be talking about CalcBook LoadPath. So let's open up CalcBook and we'll run through some examples. Okay, so we've got CalcBook open now. We've got a test project set up with 3 different calculation files in it. We've got a source beam, we've got our secondary beam here, beam B, and then we have a shear tab. So let's start with our source beam, right? That's where we're going to start all of our linking and send all of our loads to our other designs. So we've got some loads here. We've got a strong axis loading here, some live load, some dead load, a point load. We also have weak axis loading here. We have a lateral wind load on this member. And then we also have axial design, so we can add our axial forces here on this member as well. So what we want to do is go ahead and click on Manage Links. Right, this is where we're going to assign and create our links that we're going to send loads from this source beam. So first thing we'll do is add a member. Right, on the source beam side of this, you're going to decide if you want it, what support you want. So at x equals 0 is the left side, or 10 feet the right side. If you have a multi-span, you'll have options for other supports as well. Then you want to decide if you're going to send loads from your strong axis or your weak axis, right? And you'll see the forces update here in what's going to be sent out. So weak axis has our wind load here, and then strong axis just has our dead plus live, and then our axial load. This vertical reaction source, right, this allows you to change whether or not your reactions from the source beam are going to be taken from Fy, so the vertical shear, or Fz, axial reaction. So this is maybe a case where you have a beam that is vertically supported by a column that is vertically supported by a beam. So your vertical reaction, right, your axial reaction from the member is going to become a transverse force on that supporting beam. So just allows you to designate which one you want to take. But for beam to beam, we're going to use Fy. That gives us our typical shear reaction. Then on the target side, right, you can select a beam or a column. For us, we're going to do a beam-to-beam file. So we're going to select our beam file, right? If we have a beam in our project, it will show up here. If not, we can just create a new beam file. If we want to link to a beam outside of our project, we can just browse, and that will pull up our file browser. So for this one, we're going to go to beam B. It will tell us that the beam length is 10 feet long. So we're just going to apply this load at 3 feet from the left end, and we want to apply it to the strong axis. So we will do confirm links. It's going to save that. We can go back to our project browser. And now we'll see we have some new icons here, right? So source beam says it's going to link to beam B, and then beam B links from source A, source beam A. So if we open beam B, we go over to member loading, and we'll see here our loads are linked in, and they populate our shear and moment and deflection graphs, and they populate all the way through for our member design in this calculation. Now, let's go back to our beam A, our source beam, and we'll go ahead and link in our shear tab results as well. So we'll go back to beam A, we'll go to Manage Links, and then this time we're going to click on Component. And then we have a slightly different source setup here, right? This is all of our loads or our reactions that we can have that we can send out to a component design. So right now we have the location set at the left end, so this is the left end support. And we have all the loads from that support condition there. So we have our Fx, Fy, Fz, and then Mx and My. So this captures both strong and weak and axial loads at this end reaction. Then for our component file, right, same concept. If we have a component design in our project, we can go ahead and click on that. We'll click Confirm All Links. Saves that, and we can go back to our project browser, and now we can see our shear tab is also linked from beam A. And if we open this, we can see if we go over to the demand tab, right, we have our dead load and live load from the beam, and we can go back to our capacity, right? We've got several things that are out of capacity here, so we can go ahead and increase the number of bolts we need, maybe up to 4, right, and that will get us into compliance for this particular calculation. So the one other thing we can do, right, is we can go back to our project browser here. So we've linked from beam A, now we've linked to beam B and shear tab 1. So if we open beam B up, we can go manage links from beam B now. We can add a member, right? We can take it from the left to the right end. Then we can just create a new beam file. We'll call this beam C. We'll just apply it at 5 feet because we know that our default beam length is 10 feet. We can come back and edit this later. Assign that to 5 feet. We'll do confirm all links. Go back to project browser, and you'll see that CalcBook has automatically created beam C. It will save it to the same project directory that the rest of the files are in. And now when we open beam C, we'll have the loads coming in from our beam B. So that is a cascading link there that we can do, and we can do that to many different locations and do many different cascades. So pretty versatile tool. So that is CalcBook LoadPath, and we hope you enjoyed this video, and stay tuned for more feature highlights.